Hi, this is Mayor Rich O'Connor. I want to take this opportunity to wish everyone a Happy New Year. Last year in my message, I stated my optimism for a better 2021. I wish I could have delivered on that. But don't despair. I believe 2022 will shine a great beacon of hope and improvement on our lives. Today, I am also here to celebrate the life, accomplishments, and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. King was one of my early heroes and remains so to this day. His words of hope, justice, nonviolence live on and are as relevant today as when he first spoke them in the 60s. Dr. King taught us about tolerance for others and the need to discuss our differences. His message is embodied in one of his most famous, if not the most famous of his quotes from his I Have a Dream speech. I have a dream today that my children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. We are living in one of the most tumultuous periods of our lifetimes. Last year, I lamented that the lack of respect for one another is creeping into our Hudson community. I believe the reason for this is that we are losing the ability to have constructive conversations with each other. We have become decoupled from our friends, neighbors, and families. We no longer really listen to one another. We no longer even try to understand each other. Dr. King surmised that people fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other. Dr. King spent a tragically short life promoting listening and understanding, justice and love. What he taught us in the 60s still resonates today. If we cannot count among our circle of friends those with whom we disagree, we are not listening. If we don't try to understand the viewpoints of others, we are not listening. When I was in high school, I was on the debate team. Through the course of our season, we debated just one proposition, one issue for the entire season. We had to know and understand both sides of that issue. In one form of debate, when we went to a tournament, we didn't know which side of that proposition we would be arguing. It was drawn from a hat. We were given an allotted time to present our case uninterrupted by our opponents, and then they presented their side. If we wanted to prevail, we needed to understand both sides of the issue and be prepared to persuasively and passionately argue either side of the proposition. So let me ask, do we truly understand the thinking of those with whom we disagree? Have we given them an opportunity without arguing over them to explain where they are coming from? Have we even asked? I believe philosopher, poet, and composer Wilhelm Nietzsche said it best when he noted, "The surest way to corrupt our youth is to instruct them to hold in higher esteem those who think alike than those who think differently." Nietzsche is challenging us to look beyond our silos, to listen outside of our echo chambers. And he is challenging us to teach our children to do the same. Which brings me to the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In late 2020, I announced the Golden Rule Initiative. It is an initiative to promote the Golden Rule in Hudson. For most Hudsonites, following the Golden Rule is an innate virtue. Last year, I declared 2021 the year of the Golden Rule and proclaimed Hudson a Golden Rule city. Where are we at that? Where are we at with that? The Golden Rule is not a tangible thing. There are no defined metrics by which success of the Golden Rule initiative can be measured. The Golden Rule is a state of mind, a philosophy to live by, to guide us. It's about treating others with respect regardless of how they might treat you. The Golden Rule Initiative group is comprised of community leaders representing local service organizations, faith communities, our library, and Hudson schools. The response to this initiative has been overwhelming. Over the course of the past year, we have distributed over 30,000 Golden Rule bookmarks, placed 250 Be Golden yard signs throughout our community, held neighborhood picnics, declared a Golden Rule Day in our faith communities, and saw the Golden Rule discussed in our schools. We had a great inaugural year for our initiative, and I want to thank all who participated as well as those who helped with the vision of making Hudson a more cohesive community. And there will be more to come in 2022. Though there are many facets of the Golden Rule, my focus has been on understanding. By that I mean understanding one another through conversations, listening, and robust, respectful debate. But at the end of the day, it is also about redemption. I firmly believe in forgiveness and second chances, allowing people to recognize their mistakes, atone for them, and move on, having learned from those mistakes. I firmly believe that forgiveness is a cornerstone of the Golden Rule. It is a fundamental tenet of the sense of community. Let me leave you with one of Dr. King's thoughts on forgiveness. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is denied of the power to forgive is denied of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. The last 2 years have been difficult for all of us, but much more difficult for some. It's going to get better, I promise you. In 2022, I wish for our community the hope the new year brings. For each of you, I wish 2022 to be a year of peace and happiness.